Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. Housing, which is one of the major features of Midnight, is actually going to be arriving a little bit sooner than expected. As part of the patch 11.2.7, players that have pre-purchased Midnight, whether we talk about like the basic version, the epic edition, or the heroic edition, are going to be able to get an early access to the housing and all of its features and a variety of its decorations. Many of the decorations for housing will come from dungeons and endgame content, reputations and certain vendors, and even professions, but a good portion of the decor will also come from achievements. Basically, all of your major achievements from your time in Azeroth, whether it is defeating difficult raids and bosses, whether it is collecting all of the different mounts from a certain era of an expansion, or completing some zone-wide achievements, all of those things are going to give you some sort of a commemorative decor to place in your home to mark the occasion. And it turns out you can actually start working on some of those decorative items right now, way before housing gets added as part of the patch 11.2.7 and way before Midnight, as right now players are able to discover some of the achievements from Midnight Alpha that will reward you decor that you can start working on right now and obtain once patch 11.2.7 finally drops. So for today's video, I wanted to showcase you an add-on that'll help you find all of your decorative items ahead of time, as well as go over which of the achievements you should focus on right now if you're looking to get as many collectible decorative items ahead of the housing official launch. As always, if you guys want to see more World of Warcraft content for either War Within, Legion Remix, or possibly Midnight Alpha, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in. So the first things first, we should go over the add-on that's going to make this housing and decoration hunting much easier, and it's called Homebound. To bring it up, you could either type in like /HB or /Homebound in the chat. It's pretty easy to use. You know what, even the idea of like the Homebound add-on, just the name Homebound, sounds a lot like a potential YouTube series in the future once Midnight launches. Very similar to like Zone Locked, Expansion Locked, or like Gold Lock potentially. Could probably be a title for a compelling decorative collection series for every single one of the expansions. But this is a fantastic add-on that is going to be updated as we find more achievements for Midnight Alpha, because the only way to really know which achievements are going to grant you decoration is by having Midnight Alpha. But if you don't have it, this add-on is the next best thing, as it does utilize the database that's available for the game in order to list all of the different decor, as well as even showcasing what the decorations is here in the add-on as well. And the best part is, as you progress through this add-on, you can actually hide uncompleted objectives, so you can just focus on the stuff that you haven't unlocked yet and can kind of just work on it little by little, piece by piece, expansion by expansion, which is super nice. And also, it does show the 3D models of some of these different items. Like if you go to War Within, for example, for some of these models, you can actually see what the decoration is going to be. From the, like a slab, or looks like a bed from the earthen, another type of a bedding. There's like an undermine thing. There's like all these different decorations. So you can actually preview to see what they look like. And when you click it, it actually takes you to the achievement that's located and that's connected to the item specifically. So it makes it that much easier for you to track it. So this is probably one of the best add-ons you should probably start using right now if you're looking to start chipping away little by little at the different decorations that you'll be able to get within Midnight. This is just only a portion of the decorations you will be able to get. However, a good portion of it will come from endgame content, so like dungeons, raids, like while leveling up a character in older instances such as Dead Mines, but also newer stuff that will be available within Midnight, including delves as well. So it's going to have a variety of different things, and there's of course a bunch of vendors, reputations, all those aspects of the game will also have the capacity to carry decor for you to be able to purchase. Achievements is just a part of them, but it's something that you can actually start working on right now ahead of Midnight. So once the preview for housing launches with 11.2.7, you'll have a lot of the decorations unlocked immediately, which is pretty awesome how it's retroactively being added. I also wanted to go over some of the different achievements you could start looking forward to and what you can expect as you go through this add-on. But I think this add-on also gives us a bit of an idea, potentially, as the patterns that they may follow within some of the other achievements for all these different eras. For Racing Kingdoms, we have two, at least for the time being. The Green Hills of Stranglethorn, where you get to complete Hemet Nesiguir's quest in Stranglethorn Vale, including the Big Game Hunter. So this is going to be a pretty lengthy quest chain that many players, if you played in Classic, fondly or less so remember, it was definitely very grindy. Another one is Full Caravan, which isn't really a classic achievement. It's more of a Cataclysm one, with the Cataclysm revamp in the Eastern Plaguelands, with helping Fiona, a Worgen, who's traveling around within Eastern Plaguelands, collect all the different party members, which apparently I've collected all but one, so that's something I'm going to be working on in my free time. TBC for the time being is missing, but you get to move on to Wrath of Lich King, where we get an easy one, defeat Onyxia in 5 minutes in 25-man mode. So that's going to be something that vast majority of players will be able to walk in and just one-shot Onyxia. The other one is continuation of the Hemet Designator questline to complete all his quests in Northwind, including Postpartum Aggression. So when you click it, it'll actually take you to the achievement, so at least you can start tracking it and at least have some sort of a pathway as to where you can go next when it comes to this achievement specifically. The next area is Mr. Pandaria, and there's 2 obscure achievements, one of them being the Roll Club, which has you do a daily around the Serpent Spine in order to be able to do this rolling course within 70 seconds or less. That one is going to take you potentially a little bit of time. Most of the players have gotten it during like MOP Remix when that was out. The other one is actually to complete a scenario called Blood in Snow, and that one is a little harder to come by unless you go to the Lore Walker building, which is kind of located between the Alliance and Horde hub area, way up top. You got to fly into it, and there's a bunch of Lore Walker Pandaren that will allow you to access a lot of those scenarios for you to get the achievement. For Legion, majority of those for the time being are story related, like that's Val'sharah Folks as well as Good Samaritan, which are Suramar questline as well as Val'sharah story questlines. Then there's also collect 40 treasures from High Mountain as well as 40 treasures from Val'sharah, but you can expect there's probably going to be one for every storyline for each and every one of the zones, and probably 40 treasures in every one of the zones likely. Battle for Azeroth unfortunately does include one Legion dungeon achievement, the Got to Catch 'em All, where you got to use the Catch 'em tablet to acquire imprints of all the named snails within Notharin's lair. So that's actually one Legion dungeon specifically. The rest of them, however, for BFA are going to be from either dungeons or potentially some of the BFA specific faction content. So some of these are going to be tied to Alliance or Horde Pacific, like MC Hammered is a Mechagon one, which gives you a decoration of like, I guess it's supposed to be some sort of like a tool container, or almost like a tool bag, but one made out of metal instead. Potentially. Those are things like Dune or Rider, where you gotta ride all the rickety planks involved Dune, which is mostly exploration, complete the following construction projects in Mechagon, craft a bunch of stuff within Mechagon as well, a bunch of Mechagon achievements specifically. Then we got some Alliance ones with Come Sail Away, where you gotta complete the intro to Kultiras, complete the Pride of Kultura storyline, complete a Roko, the One Merchant storyline, which are Alliance heavy, but then there's a bunch of Horde ones as well within Zuldazar as well. There's also one that I'm still yet to get is a Paku Eye, where I gotta travel Zuldazar using 6 different terms of Paku in 1 minute, but you can see a bunch of them, and some are related within the Battle for Azeroth, like faction combat and faction specific events between Frontline Warrior, the Barons, after Lordaeron, and Kalimdor on Fire. Of course, we have the War Within achievements, and those are actually, if you've been working on any of the War Within completionist achievements for some of the upcoming mounts, there's a good chance that these are going to have a pretty big overlap with a lot of the decoration, like Sojourner of Isle of Dorn, Rock to Sleep, where you got to find a bunch of plaques, mostly located in the actual surface area of Isle of Dorn, plus in the Ringing Deeps. And then you also have We Here for a Night, where you're going to participate in a variety of different Theater True plays, which occur every hour or so. Sojourner of Undermine, which apparently I haven't completed, but all the optional storylines of an Undermine, if you complete them, you got a Goblin Fountain for decor. State of the Union also is another one that's also necessary for some of those other mount achievements. Smelly History is an Ashgahead unique questline, and then you got 1 rank higher, which is actually a raid achievement where you gotta defeat 1 armed bandit while activating a chip defense machine. This is a bit more involved. You gotta go to the raid, you gotta find one of those chips, then you gotta activate one of those chips, and then defeat the boss without them adding a what is it called? A fated season for War Within. I wonder if players are actually going to have a harder time getting this. Technically, the raid should be really easy to do on normal. Not quite soloable, but you could probably get together like maybe 10 players and get through it all completely. So this one shouldn't be difficult on paper, but without little players actually doing Liberation of Undermine for achievements, I wonder if players are going to have a harder time achieving this one specifically. Of course, PvP players have a variety of different, mostly Alliance and Horde banners that you can earn from different battlegrounds, like take graveyards or towers in Alterac Valley, flags in Arathi Basin, defend bases in Arathi Battle, battle for Gilneas, win that one to get a cool looking torch. I love that. Deep Hole Ravine got this like axe throwing thing. I'm missing one from Deep Hole Crystal specifically. That one is going to take me a little bit of time. Then we also got Stormcapper, Stormtrooper, a lot of them being really just banners. And then there's also Kutmogu orb holding thing from the Master Temple of Kutmogu, the gates from Twin Peaks, which looks amazing, as well as even more banners for you to be able to obtain. Lots of banners for PvPers for the most part, though I wouldn't be surprised if they added even more banners or even other PvP decorations in the future. Then we also have 3 meta achievements, which allow you to get a unique mount from different eras of different expansions, like Farewell to Arms, which is the BFA Johnny mount, which actually looks absolutely amazing. But with this mount, you're also able to get yourself even more decor this way as well. The Shadowlands one allows you to get the Zoval Soul Eater mount, which looks absolutely gorgeous, but it also gives you this like maw type of gateway as well. And of course, we have Tyvan as well, the goodest boy, the biggest boy, Clifford the Big Red Dog. And with that one, you get basically what looks like a bank vault door from the banks of Thaldraszus. So that could potentially be pretty good to slap somewhere into your home as well. There's also a unique one for lore walking, which I haven't done any of these so far, but apparently even more lore walking events are coming out as part of 11.2.7, so definitely get all your lore walking out of the way. Those are really easy to do. Go to Orgrimmar, Stormwind, or even just Dornogal and talk to Lore Walker Cho to complete a short, sometimes somewhat short quest line that gives you a little bit of backstory on some of the different storylines, like the Ethereals, the Lich King storyline, as well as Xalatath storyline. So that gives you a couple of tomes for you to add to your collections. And then of course there's also professional achievements. However, I feel like this one is going to be expanded on because professions are going to be a huge part of how you're going to be able to get a lot of decoration in Midnight. So you got things like being able to discover following artifacts within Dark Iron Thanes, which is actually a archaeology type of an achievement, a profession that not a lot of players experiment with, but this one definitely has you go into specific locations to actually use the archaeology minigame to discover a variety of different relics from the Dark Iron Thanes. The next one being is a professional Algari Master, where you just gotta maximize skill points within Khazalgar category over primary profession, so that's fairly easy to do. The Zandalari menu has you cooking 10 different Zandalari recipes, and there's a specific types of recipes from Bountiful Captain's Feast, grilled catfish, cool tiramisu, basically all of the basic raid foods that players used to use back in BFA should be fairly easy to unlock, I imagine. As well as professional Zandalari Master, which gives you this cool furnace that has this whole Zandalari look to it, where all you gotta do is obtain 150 skill points in a Zandalari category of a primary profession, which I imagine herbalism should also work as well, or maybe it needs to be a crafting profession, but I imagine any profession should work specifically. However, this list of the achievements as well as decor is going to expand over time. So if you're somebody who is trying to keep up with all the different decorations and unlock them over time, you can use the hide completed feature in order to focus in on each and every single one of the expansions and knock them out one by one, which ends up being really, really cool. And this is something you can start working on right now to get ahead of the curve before the patch 11.2.7, which right now does not have a technical release date, though a lot of us assuming it's going to be about maybe December 2nd by the looks of things. So this add-on specifically will help you at least track a lot of the achievements necessary and keep up with them, and hopefully they'll continue to update it fairly regularly as we get more information of what allows you to unlock regarding achievements and decoration heading into more updates within Midnight Alpha. But with that, as always, I do want to thank all of you guys so much for watching and hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did enjoy it or found it informative, go ahead and give this video a like, as I would very much appreciate it. Also, be sure to join our Discord community if you want to keep up with any newest updates on Midnight Alpha or any of the newest updates for the current content, such as Legion Remix or housing updates. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.